Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
First of all, Roger alluded to something a little earlier, and it was about the change towards Facebook's cryptocurrency. And in the last few days, we've had quite not just Visa leave, but MasterCard, eBay, Stripe, PayPal, all quitting Facebook's cryptocurrency project. Most of them are citing the fact of the scrutiny that the regulators are placing on the due diligence and the KYC and the security for clients using the coin. So fortunately, we're in a lovely position. As I keep saying, Onecoin has already adheres to those elements of security. And another thing, I just thought I'd raise this with you. In October last year, there was a trial in France for tobacconist shops, and there was about 24,000 tobacconist shops in France. And of course, with less people smoking, they're looking for ways of improving their business. And they did a trial in October, and now there are 5,200 tobacconist shops here in France selling Bitcoin. And you can buy a bit of Bitcoin in the tobacconist. You can buy them as little as €50 and up to €250, which doesn't pay for a full coin, but it pays for a small part of one. Quite a change, isn't it? Tobacconists, then over here, they do the lottery and Euro lottery, but now they're taking part in this. It's an amazing thing that's happened. The original launch had quite a big regulatory warning, but it's been taken into heart, and they've agreed that they'll run it as a process, and they've got an outside agency who are doing it now under the regulatory authorities here in France, keeping an eye on things. So watch this space. That's the first I've heard of people selling Bitcoin in shops. But you never know, things are changing at such a degree. The other point that was made, Roger was talking about Mike Maloney, who's a great economist and very good communicator. He's able to share information in a short space of time, and he's very accurate in how he presents his information. So I urge you to do what Roger suggested and to look and follow his work.
Sorry, Mike, can I just say the link is in the chat for everyone if anyone wants it. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Mike.
No problem. Another nice piece of information, the Dutch National Bank says that in the event of an economic collapse, gold can be the restarting tool. Now, it's interesting that the bank's suggesting or implying that there could well be a collapse, but it's just the run that's going now for anything like cryptocurrency or precious metals to give us some form of protection. The oldest thing in the world, we've traded in precious metals and gemstones for years and years. It's just amazing how the bank, a small bank, holds something over 600 tons of the precious metal in Amsterdam. So, and it's amazing how all of the banks, all of the major banks are now looking at having more security. And this follows on from something else I wanted to talk to, that another well-known economist, a Canadian billionaire, who actually bought a couple of mines, and he's been talking for the last 2 years about an economic downturn, and I can see that that's now getting more press coverage. But this one I love. This is BMW, General Motors, and Ford have started testing blockchain payments in cars. Don't you just love this? Blockchain gets everywhere. Automakers have looked at self-paying cars using digital IDs. So you're going to plug in your electric car, and automatically, because it's linked through the blockchain, the payment comes out of your account. Or you're going across a toll road, which we have a lot over here in France, and the toll's automatically deducted through your digital account in your car. Who would ever think that these things would be happening? A little bit more on banking. The the UEA, Financial Watchdog, has asked for public feedback on crypto regulation. Again, a very forward-thinking way. It's seeking information from the industry, and it's looking for public feedback for them to draft on regulations. And we've got up till the 29th of October before they'll complete their legislation or complete their guidelines for the industry. All the parties involved, including investors, bankers, financial analysts, researchers, media, and others, are all invited to give feedback. The more that this happens, it's again reinforcing regulation and making sure that the regulations fall within the parameters that we're already using. The United Arab Emirates have taken quite a commanding step in doing this. Let's see more of that, I'm sure we will. Now, ECB's Holman's currently calls for monetary policy and says it's wrong. He's hoping that under the new leader, Lagarde, that we won't have the reduced interest rates in Europe that we've had in previous downturns. He says that the monetary policy is incorrect and we need to look at it in a different way. And what he's suggesting is, oh, by the way, he recently took over governor of European Central Bank rate setting governing council last month. And the fact that he's looking to get away from the traditional moment, which is where banks reduce the interest rate to a minus figure. And some of the banks have already done this. We've got accounts that are paying minus 0.5% interest on your account. And he's just saying it doesn't work. And using credit isn't going to reverse our economic state. So that's quite a bit going on at the moment. Unless there's any questions, Roger, I was looking to follow up on something, but I couldn't confirm it yet. If I do, I'll send it you so you can post it, or we'll leave it till next week. I won't mention anything on these calls. As you know, we're all independent of the company, and I don't like to say something that I can't substantiate. So unless I've had two sources confirm, I don't share information on this group. So thanks everybody. It's been a pleasure talking to you again live here in France.